Welcome back, everyone, to the program. I'm your host, as always, Jeff. Whether you're watching me on LitecoinLeader or EconomicPreppers, I appreciate your watching on either channel, giving us a like, a share, a thumbs up, a subscribe, all that good stuff, sharing a video with somebody that may want to learn about this stuff, letting them know about this channel as we try to grow a little bit more. But I really appreciate you spending some of your valuable time with me to try to learn a little bit more about what's going on in the various stages of the economy, different stories about cryptocurrency, and such things. So this story is kind of a crossover between cryptocurrency and digital assets and the legacy currencies. This is namely the CBDCs, or the central bank digital currencies. I've mentioned these stories before in the past. Just search my channel, go to YouTube and type in my original channel and type in CBDC. There's plenty of videos up there. I'll try to link one up here if I remember, because sometimes I forget. I apologize for that. But here we go. CBDCs, a story that just appeared on Zero Edge. Again, the link will be in the description. Let me share my screen and talk about it. For those of you who have heard about CBDCs in the past, I won't go too far in depth. For those of you who want, again, I'll post a video up in the corner. CBDCs are central bank digital currencies. They're basically digitized assets. And if you think about it, most of our economy is digital anyway. Like most of your bank accounts are online. We Venmo, we Zelle, we PayPal. We do all these different ways to share currency with each other. And it's all digital. I think less than 5% of all transactions are done in cash. So CBDC current story. What do I want to share about this? I'm not going to go into the entire scope of it. Again, the link will be in the description. I found a couple interesting points about this. Again, this is a topic that's going to keep coming up all throughout the year as they start to launch this. One of the interesting things, and I'll mention this, I'll share this video as well, but I just did a story on an interesting story out of Nigeria. It's interesting that the video they chose here to share on this link is the CBDC in Nigeria, which is the Naira, which is the electronic version or central bank digital currency version of the Naira currency in Nigeria. Now, this failed miserably, but this was the video that they shared. But I'm going to go all the way down to the bottom here and just go to the summary, and we're going to hit those real quick, and then I'll drop out of here and we'll talk about the details. So the highlight, the conclusion, the takeaway: central bank digital currencies are unnecessary and dangerous. We pretty much knew that, but it's good to see that that's the conclusion. And almost 20,000 eyeballs have been on the story. That's good. The benefits of technology, digitization, and ease of transactions are already there. There is no need to create a currency issued directly to an account at the central bank. They are unnecessary as well because there's absolutely no need to compete with a digital yuan or Bitcoin. China is moving closer to sound monetary policy, and a central bank is purchasing more gold, not the opposite. If central banks want to compete with other currencies or cryptocurrencies, there is only one way: make it absolutely clear that you will defend the reserve of your the reserve of value status of your currency. There is no need for the euro or the US dollar to compete with Bitcoin or a digital yuan. If the Fed and the ECB, which is the European Central Bank, it's their equivalent of the Fed over in Europe, truly defend the reserve of value and purchasing power. Last paragraph I'll read to you. However, it looks like central banks want to behave like a monopoly that sells bad quality products but demands to remain the main supplier by eliminating competition. The Fed and the ECB do not need to compete against cryptocurrencies if they show the world that they will defend the purchasing power of the US dollar and the euro. So I'll stop sharing my screen, drop out of there, and just talk to you guys. So there we go. Hit the right button. There we go. So what's the big deal here? What is the concern? Well, this is kind of written to, I guess this is targeted to people who don't know about CBDCs. And again, I'll post a video up here about CBDCs that has been on my channels in the past. It's a bad thing. Okay. You don't want CBDCs. There's lots of reasons. I think the main video that I did was the ABCs of CBDCs. That's probably the best one that I've done. It's all the reasons why you don't want a CBDC. Anything from negative inflation, where they can take away your currency, to not having the ability to spend cash and having the privacy of those types of transactions, of giving somebody 20 bucks if you want to. Okay. You don't need to report that stuff on your taxes or whatever if you want to do that, but they want you to see, have a visibility in everything and tax everything too. But the main point here, what they said in the article, is that they don't need to create CBDCs if the point of it is to just to protect their purchasing power, to just say that they're going to do that. But they miss the point that the CBDC is one of the mechanisms to do just that. The point is that these currencies, whether it be the euro, the dollar, the yuan, whatever version it is, the naira, all these things are fiat currencies. Now, fiat currency, it just means by decree, which means, I think it's Latin, but it just means that we say so. Okay. So the government says this has value. Now, back in the day for the US, it used to be the dollar was backed by gold. That stopped in 1971 when we left the gold standard. Now there's nothing backing it. It used to be the military might and the tie to Saudi Arabia saying that they will only sell oil for US dollars. That's gone as of a couple of years ago as well. So now there's nothing backing the US dollar except confidence in the US government. Now, how much confidence do you have at this point, or how much does the world? Well, the world is leaving the US dollar system. Look at El Salvador moving to Bitcoin. Look at other countries making other deals in other currencies. China and Saudi Arabia making deals in the yuan, the rise of BRICS nations. All these things are basically saying that the dollar is no longer going to be the world reserve currency. Fiat currencies, with the dollar being the king of that mountain, is really just a stinky mountain at this point. I won't say of what, but you can figure that out. But all these other fiat currencies, the euro, the yuan, the dollar, the yen, name it, the pound, whatever one you pick, there's nothing backing it because none of them are backed by any hard or real assets. It's only confidence in gold. Confidence in the government, not gold. So these currencies decreed by the government, which are fiat currencies, have no real backing, have no real value. We're just used to that system. So they're trying to protect that system in a digital world by creating a digital version, which will only lead to more power, more control, more invasiveness, less privacy, plenty of reasons to not go there. But the reason that they're creating this is not to defend the purchasing power of their currency. It is to basically create a monopoly such that you will only be paid in digital currency. You will only have these currencies in these countries, and you won't have an alternative. They want to choke off other things, other assets that let you out of the system. So as long as you're trapped in the system, you can't use something else. And that's where they gain their power. So by controlling the money supply, which is not money, it's currency, by controlling the currency supply, they control the people's efforts to basically live for themselves, and then they become reliant upon those who create and manage that system. So what are your thoughts? I've said a lot here. Leave a comment down below. I read them all. Like, share, subscribe. Really helps out the channel. And I'll see you in the next video. Take care.